thing that I like most about being a dad is that I see that I'm about to impact the world.
What's up? It's your boy Humble Dad back with another edition of Humble Dad Podcast. Got a good one for you today. Why? Because I said so. We're going to be talking about why you shouldn't date. And it's been a topic of discussion in very few places. People want to date casually. People want to date for convenience. People want to date for all types of reasons. But in my estimation, I would say people shouldn't date. And we're going to talk about it. But before we get to that, we got to get to know you question. Now, in the back chat, we talked about, would you rather be an excellent singer, dancer, or magician? But somebody put a different spin on it. So we're going to go with that particular spin. And the question is, would you rather date somebody that's an excellent singer, dancer, or magician? And why? And we're going to go with the person that asked the question. Mr. Prototype.
What's good?
What's up, homie?
Just chilling,
Okay. Stepping in there. That's what's up.
Man, so I would rather date the dancer, man. I hate singing. I cannot stand it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like R&B at all. At all. I can't stand singing for the life of me. So that person would be walking around the house singing, and I'd just be annoyed, like a head about to explode. Like,
even if they can sing?
Yeah, I would be heavily annoyed. Like anytime, like my wife will watch what you call it, like the Aretha Franklin show or the Temptation. I'll just be in the other room going nuts. I can't wait to this movie.
So why dancer though?
Because she be twerking all the time. I like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the magician's probably mad weird, probably know voodoo or some spells. He'll be casting spells on you. There's more to that magician stuff than we know. You know what I'm saying? But if I had to choose what I would be, I would definitely be the magician.
Could you be on that stuff? Because you do voodoo?
No, it's not because of that. Just because I'm goofy.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's what's
where
up.
I would go, yeah.
That's what's up. Hey, we're going to bring Miss Penny to the stage.
Hello.
She back. What's going on, Miss Penny?
What's going on? Nothing.
You got the question?
To answer the question, okay. I would pick a singer. I want a guy that knows how to sing. I think he would be a smooth talker, be very romantic, know all the like romantic songs. Plus, like when you sing from the soul. So we had a lot of soulfulness. Like, so I think I want a man to know how to sing that can kind of just, soothe me. So I want a man that's like, and it's like a form of expression. So a lot of men don't know how to express themselves. So if you can sing, then that means you know how to express yourself. So put it in a song.
That's dope. That's a good thought. I see you. And hey, we're gonna bring up Mr. OG, the Barry White of the crew, Mr. Lost in Translation.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm solid, man. How are you?
Good. I am well. Thank you for asking.
Absolutely. What you got?
I want my woman to sing, man, because I sing. You know what I'm saying? So we can get together to sing. We can make some good music. You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
I would love that. I would love that.
That's what's up. You see Prototype face, bro?
Of course.
Like he frowned at your preference.
I already know it. I mean, listen, man. I want to be able to walk to my girl and be like, "Are you gonna be in love with me?" Said it's driving me crazy to think that my baby wouldn't be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
See, just like that. That's what I want. Just like that. You see how he expressing himself? He already expressing a situation.
Yeah, absolutely. I heard that baritone for sure. That's what's up. Yes, hey, we're gonna welcome a newcomer to the stage, Miss Brandy. What's going on, Miss Brandy?
Hey. So I'll do both in one. I'm going with Prototype. So I would rather date the dancer. Half the time I drive without music because it's noise. I feel like I get what they say, what Penny and Lost in Translation is saying, but to me it's like it's noise. It's like, why are you talking? Like, stop talking. Be cool. Settle down. So the dancing, I'll take a dancer because the skill set with dancing is just a different type of like creativity with dancing. But I will be the magician because just
We'll
like
get
with
a
the
sound
talking,
effect for that.
huh?
We'll get a sound effect for that different creativity she talking about.
I got one for you. Oh yes.
I don't go with dancing, no.
That's the
But
magician part.
I would be the magician because then I could have people be quiet or whatever I need them to do, So, yep.
That's what's up. Hey, we're gonna welcome back to the stage Mr. Brandon. What's going on, Brandon?
You're on mute, Brandon.
You're one of them.
They got me. Oh, as I was saying, I'm doing pretty well. Thank you for asking. Hope y'all doing well.
Yes, sir. The question is, would you rather date an excellent singer, dancer, or magician?
It's a good question. I'll probably go with singing. I'll probably go with a singer. I think it requires a certain like a soul in order to be able to sing well. And I feel like a lot more emotion, at least to me, is expressed through song than like through dance, and so to speak. And magician, I don't know. I just feel like you're too good at hiding stuff. You're a good magician.
And well, Prototype would want to be a magician, so that means he good at hiding things. Yeah. So for me, I married a dancer. You know what I'm saying? Not like a stripper Prototype with your eyes. That's not what I'm talking about. But she grew up dancing, and she even went to school, and she was dancing. And so even now, when she learns dances, I get to see them firsthand. Right? She did Rhythm Nation, right? Janet Jackson Rhythm Nation, and she did Tina Turner for You Boy, off the chain. And she learned a couple other dances that I won't disclose. You feel me? So let's get into it. Okay, we're gonna start with the nice first question and see what y'all say about this. We're talking about singleness, right? Or dating, so to speak. So the question is, what is an advantage of being a single man? What is an advantage of being a single man? And we'll start with Lost in Translation.
Oh man, the advantage of being a single man is that you can take as long as you need to perfect yourself, man, or at least try to. You can spend as much time as you want learning and growing and learning how to vet other people, you know what I mean? That type of thing, and just get better at doing different stuff, There's a whole lot of time on your hand, and you can actually network and become a better person. And that allows you to become more valuable to a potential mate. So being a single man, you can really take your time, and you don't have to rush as much as you have to.
Okay, who you got going next?
Let's go with Penny.
I don't know about a man. The advantages. I would think, let me think about some of the things that they don't like to do in relationships. So I think you can clean up when you want to. So there's advantages of being a single man. I guess they say your dinner is cheaper. You don't have to pay for two people. You're just paying for yourself, and it's no discussion about what you want to eat. You can eat whatever you want to without thinking about the next person. I would say that cleaning, you have to worry about the future plans of your wife or children, only yourself and where you want to be. You can get up and travel when you like. You can experience a new woman every night or every weekend if you so choose. It doesn't have to be sexual, but just, hanging out, getting a different vibe with different women if you want. But yeah, I think that's for the most part.
Okay, interesting answers. Who you got going next?
Let me do Brandy, the life coach.
I think you two pretty much covered it. Obviously, I'm not a man, so I can't really get into too much in depth. But just a single person in itself it's basically what you guys said. I mean, you don't have that responsibility of another person. So you can be in your selfish mode a little more, on your own time schedule, time frame, less money. Well, I can't even say less money spent because the single guys I know, they be splurging. But yeah, I think you guys pretty much covered it. It's you finding you without the responsibility of carrying, a partner, or I can't even say not carrying kids because a lot of single men actually have kids. So, you still gotta kind of carry them. But I don't know. That's all I got.
Okay, before you call somebody next, Brandon, I see Brandon and Lawson translate. I see y'all shaking your head. Go ahead, Brandon. You want to respond?
Oh no, I was just going to say that most single men don't have children, contrary to popular belief.
What do you say to that, Brandon?
I saw both of them saying no, but I guess it depends on what demographic or area you're looking at, because a lot of them that I know definitely got kids.
Well, I mean, I don't disagree that you probably know a lot of men that have kids. I'm just saying, like, statistically, black men specifically, most of them do not have children.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one dude who got 11 baby mama type situations out here.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately.
All right, what you got on the question then, Brandon? What is an advantage of being a single man?
Like I said, a lot of y'all kind of touching on a lot of it. For me, I would say is the independence and the autonomy. Pretty much sums up to being like the freedom to come and go as you please. Use your time as you want. You can use that time to either mess around or for personal development, personal growth. Allows you more flexibility. You also have more flexibility when it comes to like career. So you can pretty much move wherever you can pick up and go. If they say, hey, the bag's in Kansas, I guess I'm moving to Kansas for the bag. If they say I'm moving, I got to go to Bali or whatever, I'm going over there. And I would say you could probably save money, but at the same time, I don't think that's necessarily true. But I do think that the money that you spend will be different. You're not spending a lot of your money on like just making sure like your girl's good or the family's good. You're spending the money on, I don't know, J's or catching flights or doing something that you enjoy to do. So the money distribution looks much different. Yeah, and you can be more career focused. You can just do all the things that you want. You can spend 12, 13 hours at work if you have to. You ain't gonna have to worry about nobody being mad at you for coming home, late or what have you. And I think those are the main things that I can think of right now. Let me see who hasn't gone. Your prototype.
Man, I would definitely hit on the cheaper meals. You know what I mean? Like going out and splurging. Ordering the whole smorgasbord of stuff. Like I still go places by myself now. Order everything on a menu, boy. So no, that's definitely a perk, man. Being able to do whatever you want with your bread. And time to be personal development too. Like shoot, when I ain't had no family, man, I worked out like 3 times a day just because I wanted to. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, I don't got nothing to do. Let's go back to the gym. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's don't get me venting and ramping, but that's the advantages of single life. You know what I'm saying? As far as you can manage your bread the way you want to, and you can do what you want when you want to.
Okay, well, we'll do it on the flip side. What do you think the advantages of being not used per se, but the advantage of being a single woman? All right, we'll start with you, Ms. Brandy.
For me, I feel like the advantage of a single woman is almost the same thing, because as a woman, if you're in a relationship, you definitely still have to make sure your partner is good. But as a single woman, you can focus more on you, as we like to say, our worth, our self-worth, or whatever. Our travel time, even our careers, more women are working now. So, we can focus on the career versus the home as far as making sure the husband is good. It's pretty much the same. I mean, I think it's more, I don't necessarily think it's more advantages for a single woman than it is for, a single man, but
Say it again. You think that
I don't think it's more advantages for a single woman than it is for a single man.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, no worries. Who you got going next?
Let's do Lost in Translation.
I thought you never ask. Listen, there are many advantages to being a woman that's single. You can go out on a date every night of the week if you decided you wanted to. You can have folks buy you stuff. You know what I mean? You can get flued out. You know what I mean? All type of stuff. You get to go to trips in Jamaica and nobody questions your behavior. You know what I'm saying? And say, for instance, if you slip up, somebody's always going to be there to help you out. You know what I'm saying? To take care of your housing needs and a few bills being paid. You know what I mean? You don't have to answer to nobody. You know what I mean? You can go and get your degree and you can be as bad as you want to be. You know what I'm saying? And ain't got to prove none of it. So those are some advantages that I see that women have. You know, they get to be picky and choosy. They can do whatever it is they want to. They don't have to give answers. They can just make up stuff and pretend like you ain't heard it. You know what I mean? Those are some of the things that I see that women have an advantage of being single. Let's go with Prototype.
I'm right there with you, my God. Like, like y'all have the ability to finesse way more dudes. You know what I'm saying? So y'all are finesse queens anyway. Like, you know what I'm saying? So y'all gonna be finessing men left and right, free meals. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know daggone well y'all had that frozen pizza in the freezer. That's what y'all was eating. You know what I'm saying? But then y'all could just, call Johnny, call Charles. You know what I'm saying? Call whoever, and, oh baby, let me take you out to eat. You know what I'm saying? There you go, hibachi.
Right.
For the night. So yeah, man, y'all take advantage that way, by just finessing more guys. You know what I'm saying? So that's about it.
Who you got going next?
Go with Young Penny.
I agree with everything you guys are saying. I think being single is fabulous. I mean, at a certain age, in my singleness, being single was fabulous. It was great. Especially if you have great men in your life, getting like that vision from, or a provision from different men, getting advice from men, your TV breakdown or something wrong with something. You got plenty of people to call to come get you, come fix something. Somebody with a specialty can come over and fix it. You don't have to try and figure out what's going on there. Like I said, with men, a different vibe. You can have a different vibe, every weekend, go chill with someone every weekend. You don't have to do anything, but, just having that different perspective, a different mind frame, being around a different crowd is always good. So especially if you don't, you're single and you don't want a family, you don't want to have children. It's a great life being single and at a certain age, at an older age, if you don't want any children, you don't want to be married, it can be a great life for sure.
Is that everybody? Brandon, you went?
Brandon got to go.
Yeah, I got to go. But I feel like by this point, y'all done said everything, man. I'm definitely Lost in Translation kind of took the cake on that. And Prototype, he took mine about y'all can have a different meal every day if y'all want to. Y'all, your bills will be less if you're single. Not to say you ain't got to worry about paying any bills. And if you're not talking about the taking care of the light bill, whatever, that's the food bill alone. That's you good. Every weekend, you going to be entertained. You ain't got to even think about what you're going to do. You have a catered experience. From every man is going to try to put you on to something different. Every time you're going to eat, you'll be eating the cuisines of the world. Overall, it can be a pretty sweet. It can be a sweet life if you do it well for a single woman, I think. But I guess on the
thing though, wouldn't that be kind of like we would think that's kind of gross? You know what I'm saying? Like they got to swap out between all these different dudes just to get a change.
You got to what? What you
say?
Swap
out different dudes just to get a change in the meal. Y'all gotta sit there and act like you fake like the dude. Like it's such a disgusting way to go about life.
It depends on who you are. If you have people in your circle that you like, then what's the problem? I mean, if you somebody who's trying to reach people just to get a meal, then yeah, it could be
that's most women.
But no, I mean, it's not hard to get a meal from someone. I mean, you got your selection. So you can go out there and meet a great person. He's going to take you out to eat.
Who, a friend zone dude?
I mean,
Yeah.
you're single, so he can be
It's
friend zone. You're not looking for anything.
See, but that's manipulative. Like, you know what
How
I'm saying?
is
Like,
that?
because he's looking for something more. That's the only reason he's doing that. He ain't doing that out of the kindness of his heart.
Well,
And
I
it-
mean, we're not putting no terms on it. I can't sit there and meet you and be like, you're gonna be my husband. You know, he like, wait, hold on, let me get to know you first. Same thing.
No, he's looking for something. You know what I'm saying? If he
Okay,
can't,
whatever
if he
he's
can,
looking for, let me get to know you first.
you know what I'm saying?
Same
But
thing.
y'all will go out on different. And when girls say they're dating, to me that means y'all having sex. So you be
I
like,
mean,
oh,
that's
I'm dating different guys. Oh, you screwing different guys in my head.
So this is why okay, so all the details that you guys went into, I would say they're fabulous, they're great, and it sounds good on paper. I do a lot of content, I do a lot of questions on my platform, and I bait people in I bait their mindsets. And for what you guys are saying, I feel like it's great for a single woman who's emotionally mature. But in this day and age, you don't have too many emotionally mature women. So we do have, like what Prototype is saying, when I do a lot of content, I do a lot of questions. I have women that are literally thinking that when we go out to eat, a lot of them are having sex soon because somebody bought them a good meal. Now we not talking about mature women. We're talking about the emotionally mature women that's saying they don't want anything, but subconsciously they're looking to be got. You know, they're looking to be picked. And so they go out with men for the meals, manipulative. They don't want them, but they getting the meal, so they go out with them until the person that they want them, which normally don't happen, but they're having sex with a lot of people that they're going out with. They want a deep conversation, but for a lot of dudes feel like, I know I can buy you. I can take you out to eat. I can get what I want. I don't have to vet you. I don't have to really care about your needs. I just take you out to eat. I'll buy you a purse. Maybe we'll go to a club or something. Like, I'll just show you a good time because this is what you post about, and then I'll get what I need, and then I go on about my way. So I see a lot of single women that are not emotionally mature on the dating scene, and that's why the things you guys listed, I agree with them, but that's why I did not list them, because I don't see them being taken advantage of in the good ways that you guys are saying that they should be taken advantage of.
But why we had to go to the negative on the women though? And the men, when we talk about the men having a good life,
and that's
like
I
in fantasy land. We in fantasy land with the men. Y'all all got things to do. Y'all all sitting there saying, I can develop myself, when we know 9 times out of 10 men ain't developing themselves. But we was in fantasy land when it was on y'all turn. Now we in fantasy land when it's on the women. Now it's like, oh, most women they having sex. Why we can't stay in fantasy land?
Because men like sex. They'll admit they want sex. They ain't gonna lie about that. Women lie.
It's
We're
not
like,
the comparison of
be
sex
sleeping with everybody
for men and women. It's not the comparison. But when we were speaking on men and the great life that men could have, we didn't say no negatives. So why we can't stay in fantasy land when we're talking about women?
Well, I don't like fantasy. I like reality. And the reality is, a lot of women emotionally, they cannot date maturely as a single person. A lot of women do not want to be single.
What does that mean? Can you explain to me, like you said, emotionally mature women dating? Like, can you explain a little bit more about what you mean by that?
So emotionally mature is knowing how to date. I feel like a lot of people, men and women, don't know how to date in particular. But however, I see women emotionally. We will say that we are for one thing, and then when we get with the man who's showing us the things that we actually want in a relationship, our mind clicks over and says, "Ooh, this is the one." Now, this person has not vetted us. They have not shown us that they are stable enough to want a relationship. They have not told us they want a relationship. We don't even know what they got going on. But it's the fantasy land of how they make us feel. And so then we automatically want something that we came in saying that we did not want from the beginning.
So you saying, so a woman who says, I'm not looking for a relationship at all, then she meets the men of her dreams who make her question that. If she says, oh, I changed my mind, she's no longer emotionally mature?
No, it's the way you act. Like if you could handle rejection. If he say, you know what, hey, it was good, I was just chilling with you, I don't want nothing serious, and you like, you know what, all right, cool, on to the next. That's fine. That's emotionally mature. The emotionally immature ones are the ones who literally you act out. Like you're spazzing, you going and you on stalker mode, you trying to find out who else he dating, you trying to, find you know, where he stay. He ain't told you where he stay, but now you want to find where he stay. You want to know, you know, how many people he dated, where he worked. It's just like going into a deeper detail of stalking him when he said that ain't what I want. You know, this is just what it is. And instead of moving on, we get into this whole spazzing type, you know, stalker type, you know, attitude.
Can I help you with that? Can I help you with that? The reason why she spazzes out because she's found the best she can get. Normally what happens is if a woman, you know, says, hey, this guy has everything that I need, and the relationship doesn't progress, it's because there's someone else that's in the picture that she really wants, and she's waiting for that person to do what he needs to do. That's all it is. But generally, when a woman spazzes out, she probably sold out, and that's the best man that she can get, and she knows it. That's the reason why it threatens her security. And that's the reason why she acts that way. However, in the event that she does not move forward, that means there's another suitor. And men know this. You see what I'm saying? Men have no problem with competition. Men know this. You see what I'm saying? Even though you don't tell us, we kind of know. We kind of know because it's how you treat us, how you talk to us. You know what I mean? How you handle us, so to speak. So when we know when there's competition. We just don't always let y'all know we know, but we know.
Yeah, I was out under the assumption that if you're dating a woman of any like that's worth anything, that sounds wild. But like the assumption on the man's side is that if you're single and you're dating me, I'm assuming until you're in a relationship, you're also dating other people. So I'm never dating a woman assuming that I'm the only one that's vying for your attention. And you know, like I may assume that once we locked in, no switching up. But like while we were like dating, first date, 2 date, 3 date, or whatever, until we lock it in, in my mind, I'm like, I'm pretty sure she's dating at least somebody else. And it would be arrogant not to assume so.
Mm-hmm. And I agree that's how it should be. I don't see a lot of people going in with that mindset though. I don't see a lot of, when I say emotionally mature, emotionally mature woman would know that. Like what you just said, Brandon, I absolutely agree because that's what dating is. But a person, and it don't even have to be just women. It could be men, but since the topic was on women, this is why I'm sticking to women. But anybody that's emotionally immature, they're going to automatically go in thinking what you give me is only what you're giving me. It's only me and you. It's like, it ain't even no conversation of you asking this person, you know, is it just me and you, or are you seeing other people? Like you just going in it like, oh, I'm getting this treatment. I must mean something. This must mean more than, you know, just dating. And then that's when the irrational behavior comes in, when you realize I'm not the only one you dating. I
think that's a healthy person. I like a person who expects, like, you know, if I'm dating somebody, you know, I'm spending my money, taking her out, showing her a good time. On the back end, I hear that she's going out. Like, so if I'm taking her out every Friday or spending weekends with her, and then I found out that she's going with somebody else Monday through Thursday, that ain't gonna work for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I think it's emotionally healthy, and it's, I mean, I like it sounds kind of naive, and you're saying emotionally mature, but I mean, I think that naive stage in your life is really the innocence, and where you can have an opportunity to really fall in love. After that, like after you've been tainted so much, man, or you know people are foul or cruel, or man, she probably smashing on a couple other. There's no way I can ever really truly love that girl. Like I might settle for her or whatever, but I can never truly, like, I can always detach myself from somebody I know that always wasn't genuine. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer that most women aren't that crazy. I think that there's some men that I don't even know. No, I don't know one man that will tell somebody that he's talking to two people. Like, even if when they first start dating, I've never met it. No one in my life that has ever been that honest. That's been like, yeah, I'm talking to some other people or whatever. He could say I'm dating or something like that. And then when you ask him the question like, hey, is it just me and you? He gonna be like, you know, he gonna make it so that she can't really figure out whether or not he's talking to somebody or not. I can't remember what Trill used to say, but he's gonna say it in a way where he's gonna say, you know, it's just me and you, at the moment, it's just me and you, so in her eyes or in her mind, the moment means like while we dating, in his eyes or his mind right now, as I'm talking to you right now in this moment. So I don't know no man that's going to be that honest where I haven't seen or heard any man that's that honest to say, yeah, I'm talking to somebody else at the time. Yeah, I'm feeling somebody else at the time as well. Like, and then when women find out that you're talking to somebody else, then they're already invested and emotionally invested. So I think that'll make a woman go crazy or make a woman feel like, it's hard to detach from that, so I don't know too many women that knew in their mind and went kind of like just off the rail. Like they were sane at first and just went off the rail, when she found out he was talking to somebody else and he told her, yeah, I'm talking to somebody else. Most of the time it's some kind of like tricking going on or some type of like finessing going on in that situation.
Dwayne, welcome to the show, bro.
Hey, glad to be here. Just sitting back enjoying the show.
Absolutely. Me too. Hey, so have you heard any, did you hear the question?
No, I didn't hear the question.
But it transitioned from what's the advantages of being a single woman to what you were just hearing. So what would you say is an advantage or advantages of being a single woman nowadays?
Oh, you get to play the field. Or the field get to play you. However you putting yourself out there. Yeah. No, but as I was saying that, I like to buy stuff off OfferUp and Craigslist and stuff like that, right? And I look at it like a house, right? You go and you're viewing the house because the house is for sale, and you go and you're viewing it, but it ain't official until it's under contract, right? That's whenever other people are coming by, they're viewing the house all on the inside and all that, right? But once it's on the contract, that's whenever it's official. So that's how I look at it from the dating standpoint. And I could jive with your point prototype. I think like people go in with that healthiness where they haven't been hurt or damaged, right? So they have that innocence to them until something happens, and something will then change. So on the topic of me liking to buy stuff off OfferUp. Ain't nothing like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna buy that from you. I'm gonna purchase that from you. And then, hey, when can we meet up? Oh man, I already sold it to somebody else. What? I thought you were gonna sell. No. So I gotta change my approach now. Hey, make sure you hold that for me, right? That's mine. So now I gotta figure out ways to put it under contract. So I put that to the same thing for the dating world, dating relationship. And Miss Penny, I have been one of the dudes who has said, yeah, I'm talking to somebody else. And that's only because of my conscience, because I did not want to be that dude where I'm in a relationship. I started talking back to my ex, and then she was like, oh, why are you such a good, I'm talking to my ex again. So I had to do it. Because that's just grimy. I couldn't do that.
Dwayne, do you think most men do that?
Oh no, because again, remember they too get to play the field and allow the field to play them. They enjoy it even more both ways.
Right. These honest men, I say.
I do it. I invite them over to the house for sweet tea. Let us all talk. You guys, anybody who know me, they know I'm telling the truth. I've had it happen before. Sat on the front porch and drank a little sweet tea. Everybody get to know each other. And it's amazing how women turn on each other. You know what I'm saying? When they get to know.
Would have a party and invite everybody I'm talking to. Like every single
It's an
girl.
experience, man. You should try it.
My brother he was like, I don't know how you do that. And you just be there comfortable and like, I'm like, everybody cool. Like, you know what I mean? As long as ain't nobody acting out, we good. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'll put everybody in the same room.
Does everybody that's in the room know that they had dated you?
Maybe
not. I mean, but
it's not often you get to meet your competition. You understand what I'm saying? It's not often you get to meet
You don't even know the competition though, because he's not telling you. So you don't even know.
Ain't nobody but y'all be paying attention. If y'all was really like, you know what I'm saying? It's like okay, who's gonna step up and, you know what I mean, kind of
But
shine
that's
the
what I'm
story.
saying. If you let them know, it can still work out. So Lost in Translation say it can still work out. Let them know.
No, because I'm not no hater too. So like,
That's
you
not
know,
hate.
let's say no. Here's what I'm about to say though. Like, let's say I invited some girls that I was interested in. You know what I'm saying? And until I've actually slept with her, like she's for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So she mess around, get to the party, and like my cousin or one of my homeboys or something like. I got a pretty pretty decent squad, so you know it could go down. And, you know what I mean? They for everybody.
No, I'm saying like for the mental of the woman, not letting a woman think that she is the only one that you are dating or pursuing at that time. If you let everyone know that they're pursuing you and then they go to this party and, you know, just so happen everybody, you know, you got other dates there, I don't think, you know, I think it'll work
Well,
out better
I
than
would say a
finding
younger
out.
version of me might have said, "Hey," might have been open about that. But an older version of me, you know, a 20-year-old me, didn't trust women. Didn't really, you know what I'm saying? So I don't trust them. Y'all be lying anyway. So why am I telling y'all anything?
Right. But I'm saying like if men are more honest about it, then you will get a more calm woman because she already know what's going on. So it gives her the option to decide whether she wants to engage in this or not. But I think it's more not saying that will work out in every situation, but I'm saying like it'll
It
work
don't.
out
It
better
don't.
than finding out that you ain't the woman at
It
the
don't
party.
work in enough situations. I think honesty comes with status. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to be a certain guy to be able to be honest and women not care. You know what I mean? Majority of men are really don't have that type of status. You know what I'm saying? But if you're somebody's status, like let's say you're a ball player or something like that, or you're uh you're in a situation where it's assumed that you generally get a lot of women. You know what I mean? Then you have a little bit more flexibility at your honesty then. But it's something of status that men can be honest, but men who are, you know, most men aren't casually having sex, like they don't have that access to sex on a regular basis, so they don't know what the hell to do.
That's a good point. I think it's in we're in the point of where we're getting to what I'm trying to present to y'all as we look at the title. I think y'all may be tracking what I'm talking about.
Oh,
but
yes.
We're going to I wanted to ask this question. I have a couple questions, but let's see. But based on I'm a transition based on what y'all been talking about. So I had to change up my question. So when we talked about what are the advantages of being a single man or a single woman, all of y'all talked about at some point or another of dating. So my question is, why is single connected to dating? Because if I am single, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm dating somebody. But all of you at some particular point referenced that you had multiple options to date. So let's talk about that. Why is singleness? I mean, I probably have to redo that. Why is singleness connected to dating? All right, we'll start with you, Mr. Dwayne.
Oh man, that's interesting. It's availability. So like if you're single, then you are on the market, whether or not you are on the market or not. So I saw this video of a guy. He's at a baseball game. He saw a girl that he thought was cute. His friend brings his phone up there to the girl and had the girl put the number into the phone. If she was not single, she would have put herself in a very interesting situation by putting her number in that man's phone. But because she was single, she was available to do that without that conscious knocking at the conscience. So because she was single, I believe she was able to do it. And then next thing you know, the social media world, a few days later, she's on social media showing who she's next to. She's next to that guy that was a couple of rows down that she met randomly at this baseball game. So that's why, as for singleness, like we are creatures that desire relationship. And once that presents itself, whether we're looking or not, and I think sometimes some of those the most beautiful relationships are the ones that happen like that, where you're not forcing it. It just it falls together. So that's my 2 cents.
Who you got going next?
Let's go with Brandy.
You say why dating is connected to singleness? Well, personally, I feel like dating is collecting data, enjoying the experience. I feel like a lot of people don't know how to date, which is why I feel like a lot of us we go into dating because we want the person or we want the relationship, but we want the experience first. So like we talked about the meals earlier. So we want the meals, we want the closeness, we want the flowers. A lot of us, believe it or not, or well, I'm not at the moment, but a lot of people that are dating are having sex with a lot of people that they're dating with. So I believe people go into the dating thing and their singleness not knowing how to date. Now, why is it connecting to singleness? I have no idea. Because when you're married, I feel like you still should be dating each other. It's maybe different from when you're single, but I still think you should date each other when you're married. But I do feel like we need to learn how to date better. I don't think we know how to date. So I think we just call stuff dating just because, we went out to eat. Maybe we're on the phone. We exchange numbers, like he said. I mean, we call that dating, but I don't feel like it's really dating if you're just doing the little simple things, if you're not really collecting the data, as I like to say, about the other person to see if you guys are mutually on the same mindset, same goal set, same spiritual, set. I don't think a lot of us are doing that in the dating scene.
Okay, who you got going next?
Penny.
Okay. I really don't know why, but if I had to guess, I would think it would be because we have dimmed down the scenario of dating. Dates aren't what they used to be. So now it's just if we go for a walk, then we went on a date. If we had a conversation with just me and you, we had a date. So they're doing things that they would do when they're single, and they're calling it dating because people don't want to date anymore, take people out on proper dates anymore. So I think that's why it's kind of connected, because they just got lazy with dating. So that's if they just say, okay, we single and we just going to have a walk, then that was a date. I took you on a date. We went and walked in the park. That was a date, and so that's things that people do when they're single, And so if you're communicating with someone of the opposite sex or the same sex, I guess in some cases, they calling that a date. So that's the only reason why I can think why we are connecting it the same thing. We're trying to just, phase out dating kind of, or taking someone on a date because it's becoming too expensive, too many qualifications for it. So the word date, going on a date is phasing out.
Okay, got you. Who you got going next?
I'm gonna take Lost in Translation.
Thank you, Penny. The reason why people automatically assume that you're single, that you're dating, because married is the default expected position. Because most people already know if you plan on having kids, the best way to make sure that they're healthy and happy is to make sure that you're married and in a committed relationship. So if you're single, then they automatically assume if you plan on having kids, then you plan on being married. So automatically you default to, dating and single, because people automatically assume that, you're moving to that direction. But if you sit down and ask certain people, do they plan on having kids? And they'll tell you no, then, they're probably not dating to the level of extent that everybody else is. I mean, it looks like dating, you're going out or whatever, but the intent is what separates it from dating and actually just casually dating. You see what I'm saying? You're letting that person know, look, I'm not having kids. I'm not planning on getting married, that type of thing. And that energy is different because that person knows that nothing is going to come about this. But for the most part, people automatically assume, hey, you plan on having kids, you're going to get married. So automatically the default position is married. So you're seeking to be married. So which is the purpose of dating, is to move to the next level of the relationship, is to actually get married and then matriculate on down to having a family and raising a family. So that's my position.
That's what's up. Who you got going next?
Prototype.
So I'm gonna keep it simple, right? If nobody wants to be alone, I think that the social norm is to be married, have a family, settle down. And if you're single, you're assumed to be dating because everybody's thinking that you're trying to move to the society norm. You know what I mean? So I mean that's the only reason why it would be connected. You know, married people don't date. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we go out or whatever. I'm not saying y'all know what I'm saying. So but yeah, man, I don't think Brandon spoke.
Yeah, shit. I mean, I think y'all really took it. I was gonna say just mostly just the tradition of the thing. The standard is marriage. Even for people who don't want to get married, which I'm pretty sure annoys the shit out of them. You know, every time they with their significant other, everybody's assumed. I'm talking especially here, down here in Texas. Everybody's assumed y'all married off rip. Y'all in the same room together. Y'all married. But and that may not necessarily be the truth. And you got to date. Technically, you got to date in order to find your partner for marriage. So I just think that's why those two things have been put together. I guess I wanted to expand a little bit more about what dating is, or what it is supposed to be. I heard Penny say that people aren't trying to date, and then she said, people not trying to go out or walk in the park it's considered a date now. I was like, I thought date was spending time with like an intention of like a romantic interaction involved in that. That's what's considered a date. So I guess I would like. Well, I might be bringing this off topic a little bit by asking, like, what is a date? What do we consider a date? What is the basic requirements for it to be considered? So for something to be considered a date.
And I was going to ask all you guys, if I'm not overstepping, if everybody can kind of define their definition of dating.
That's what Brandon was asking. That's exactly what Brandon was asking, and that's why you seen the question kind of scroll across, because that was the transition of the question.
A date is an event. It happens once at a time. But dating is an ongoing, getting to know you process. So I think when people use the terms interchangeably, they're doing themselves a disservice. Mm-hmm. So a date is an event. You can always go on a date with one person and nothing else happens after that. But if you're dating, then it's an ongoing vetting process that you're getting to know the person that you're spending a lot of time with.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. I was gonna say, I guess we got to call it out. Are we calling out? Or are we just jumping in?
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. I would equate a date to like a job interview. You can go on many different job interviews. All right, but when you get called back, you are interviewing. You are in the active vetting process. So you're going to the steps in order to get that job. And to Lost in Translations relations point, which I think is a great one, that you can date many people. You can go on a date, but once you're interacting with somebody for an extended period of time, like you are quote unquote dating, you are in a deeper process. It's no longer just surface level. You're really trying to get dig deeper to vet for a potential for a relationship. But for me, I would consider a date or to be any event where the intention is to spend time together for the purpose of some sort of romantic encounter, either temporary or long term. Just depends on what type of date you're trying to go on.
I think I would agree with all of that. I think all of us know like what a date and dating is, the difference between those two. What is called a date or what is a date? I think it depends on the person and how you feel or what you want to do to best like express yourself. If that is just going for a walk in the park, or if you actually have to do an activity to express yourself to that other person during that time, your time together. So the dates could be different depending on what you want it to be. I don't think it's like a way that you have to go about it, because it's different for everybody. So a walk in the park might be a date to some, and more events, during a dating encounter, maybe for some other people as well.
Is everybody getting their definition?
You know what I don't like about dates?
No.
So how Brandon, you brought up interviewing for a job, right? Let's say you interview for that job, went through like a four-stage vetting process. You know what I'm saying? They piss test you and everything. You know what I'm saying? You passed all that, you get in there and be like, man, this job is awesome. And then you start talking to other people, and then somebody else tell you like, oh yeah, like they picked me off the street. And I got the job easy, like, you know what I'm saying? And you're like, dang, they put me through all that. You know what I mean? Or you get to the job and it's trash for real. And it's just like, dang, they put me through all that vetting, and it was a huge waste. When somebody else less qualified than you, you know, they ain't have to do none of the stuff you had to do, got the same job you have.
It's beauty in the struggle.
It be that way. It be
What
that
do
way.
you mean? It's beauty?
That's
What's
what J.
that
Cole
mean?
say.
It's beauty in the struggle.
J. Cole says beauty in the struggle.
You know, it's like, that's why, like, if y'all feel dating is went to trash, that's why. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you get to meeting dudes and they be like, oh yes, I smacked that. All I did, I brought some wings by. You know what I'm saying? And it was on the smacking. You know, I brought some wings by. We sat, ate some wings, we smoked, and it was on.
Is
Like,
dating terrible? Is it horrible?
I don't know.
It's
But,
terrible when you spending your money. It is.
But yeah,
No, I'm saying, like, in your in your experience,
you're
if you
spending money and
dated, is
then
it
find out
horrible?
somebody else is getting to the good. You went on this terrific date with them, and then you dropped them off, and you know they that doggy bag is getting ate up by somebody else, by another dude that just brought the weed through afterwards. Like,
It's only bad if you ain't do your due diligence.
No.
Should be good.
What does that mean?
See. Okay, Penny, to that. Some people interview well. Okay, some people interview really well.
Yeah.
But I'll also say this: in today's culture, right? They play off. Women will
only
play
women
off.
do it.
I'm sorry.
Only women. You said only.
No.
Oh,
Let
okay.
me get to the point to understand if it's only women.
It's beneficial both ways, right? It has to be a win-win. It has to be a win-win. But whenever men now are taking the L, because guess what? They're being used. They're being used. Like, women will have you take them out, right? With no desire to actually start anything romantic with you. Because for me, dating is something that's going to lead to romance.
Men will
right?
too.
I'm sorry?
Men will too. They'll take you out.
Only the men that you want will do you like that.
Wait,
the guys a prototype are talking about.
Hold on real quick. Let Dwayne finish his thought first. Let me finish his thought first.
No. All I was saying is that as from a women's standpoint, like they now see there's a market for dudes, right? And I'll say even simps, like to the point where they'll take you out and allow you to spend your money and your time on them, knowing that they're not going to give you anything romantic. They know that. But then guess what? They get something out of it. The men, the dog of men, what they're going to get out of it is the romance without that connection. So they're going to sleep with you, right? Because that's what you market and that's what you allow them to do. But then there are women out here that will just use the men that are wanting and are pursuing that romantic relationship and are willing to actually walk the walk and talk the talk, but they don't have any intention. So I see that there's a toxic side of culture that is developing around that point as well. And they're taking advantage of men, and they cause men not to desire to even attempt to date because it's so difficult. They get set up for failure. So I just want to throw that out there.
Let Penny respond real quick. Go ahead, respond, Penny.
I agree that there are some women that do that, just like I agree there are some men that do that as well. There are some men, and I don't know why it's so hard to believe, but there are some men that say, hey, I just want to go on a date, have some fun, kick back, relax, laugh a little bit, have good conversation, and they'll pay for that and not want nothing in return. Like as far as sex, but they'll be like, hey, I just want to kick it right now, just kick it. And it has happened.
I don't know about that.
I've even experienced. I mean, I'm not saying that like they wouldn't have sex if you offered it. Like, I'm not saying that they're not like, okay, if she want to have sex, yeah, we can do that too. But it's some men that's like, right now I just want to kick it. Like I want to go out and kick it. And ain't got nobody to kick it with. They lonely as shit. So it's like it's some men that will go for that. Like if you're offering it, yeah, they will. But
you're talking about over 60, right?
Even some men that will take you
but
out.
A lonely man will take what he can get.
Let her finish.
And there's even some men that will take you out, say that they have good intentions, right? I've actually met a man on the Lapeef YouTube channel, right? We both watched the YouTube channel, and we went on a date. We knew all these talking points, you know, and we had a good date. We had good connections, good vibes, everything, you know. And he ended up saying, like, you know, something was going on. Like, he said I was too masculine or something like that. Yeah, that's what he said. I was too masculine for him. But he went on a date. We went on a date. He took me out. We had a event. He paid for that. We had dessert. He paid for that. Like, and so that's my fault. No, he went and spent all of that. We didn't do anything sexually, like not even a kiss, nothing sexually. He paid for all of that. And then he said, hey, you know, it's not what I want. So men do that too. They'll take you out, waste your time as well.
So let me add this to Penny. Like, when after my late wife passed away, and I connected with Kendra, my current wife, that's like for real, that was my process. Dwayne can kind of vouch for me on this. I just wanted somebody to be able to talk to. I wanted to talk to a woman that could stimulate me intellectually, and I didn't really want anything from it. However, if she was like, I wasn't the person that was like, nah, you trying to give it to me, so I'm not going to take it. That's not how my mind was. But at the beginning, where I was at that point in time, I just wanted somebody to have a conversation with. But that is an anomaly, though, Penny, is what we're saying. Yeah, it's like maybe 1 to 2% of guys.
You can agree to that, but I've heard it before, and I haven't heard it. When I heard it from the man that I heard it from, it wasn't someone I was dating. It was just, you know, one of my guy friends that was telling me, like, I don't really want none with her. He was like, but, you know, he's like, I like to go out with her and we have a good time together, you know. And he told me that. He was like, I work too much right now. He was like, I'm kind of just in my bag right now. And he's like, I just wanted to go out and just, you know, free my mind, just have a good time. And he was like, I didn't want anything. I just wanted to go out. You know, he was like, maybe we can, you know, I can just go out with it. And I said, nah, don't do it. Cause she, you know, she might want something, you know, else. And he like, yeah, you know, so we had to talk about it, but that's all he wanted at that time. So I'm like, I'm not saying that every man is like that, but I said, like, there are some.
Yeah. So this reminds me of, like, we were saying, it's an interview process earlier. I've had a courtesy interview where they already had their candidate picked out, but I went on the interview. It was tough. Okay.
You had your opportunity to sway.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
it was practice. It was practice. I mean, it didn't cost me much, but my time. But I didn't have to commute too far. But still, it was tough. Like, I didn't need that practice, I don't think. But that's what it reminds me of, a courtesy date. But I wish it would be upfront. Just be upfront with your interest. And I think there's a different form of dating now where if you show up, and I forgot the name of it, you show up to a location, you look at the person, and if you don't like what you see or whatever, you just dip out. I forgot what they call that. But
Ghosting.
There is a
ghosting.
Oh, okay. Well, there it is, right? You show up, you say, hey, we're gonna link up, you get to the place, you see the product, or you see the person, you don't like what you see, dip out. And that's where
blind date.
No. You meet the person on whatever app, whatever, where you meet online or whatever. You set a date, an event. You're gonna link up. You show up to the event at that time. The person sees you. You see the person. If you don't like what you see, you dip out. You just leave. You ain't got to say hi. You ain't got to say bye. You just leave.
You saying that's a particular app that they do?
No. This is
that's a behavior.
Oh, that's a behavior. Oh, okay. Yeah. I feel you. I seen this one meme, or it may have been a reel, where the lady was saying that she's on Tinder. She said, "Women, you should never go hungry." That's how I read. Women, you should never go hungry. And she's on Tinder, right? And she's just scrolling and pressing, and then the dude takes her out. And the point of it is that women, you should never go hungry because you have those type of options. And that's a part of that would be her considering that these dudes are taking her out on dates, right? And that goes back to what Lost in Translation was saying. The advantage of a woman that's single really gets to experience things without having to pay for them, right? Which is interesting of a point, because I would be interested in, if that is the position, what would make a woman admire and want to be married more than a man?
Yeah.
I wonder, but that's a topic for another day. So as we transition, I think somebody was talking about the singleness and dating to be married. So my question is then, what does single to married mean? What does single to married mean? And anybody can start the conversation, and we just gonna talk about it. Let's go.
I need an example. What do you mean?
You single
That's what
until
somebody
married,
said,
or
that you're
to
single till
married?
you married. That's what we're talking about. What does it mean? Are you asking me to explain what I
Till
mean?
you're
when I'm
married.
asking you?
Got
You
you,
get
got
it.
you, got you,
I
got
get
you.
it
Not
now.
just the way the
Single
question
till
is.
you're married.
It should be
Oh,
till
okay. How
you're
should I
married, not
say
to
it?
married.
No, we
What
got
is
you.
single till married?
So
Oh,
that's
okay.
then like being in a
Yeah, I wrote it
relationship,
wrong.
but y'all not married, so you're still saying I'm single.
Single until married. What is single?
Which I think that's a cop out for real. You know what I'm saying? It's her trying to give a dude an ultimatum. Really, like she knows that's like you single by law, but you're not single. You know what I mean? Like you still thinking and probably washing clothes and making breakfast and you know what I mean, getting your guts blown out. You know what I mean? And you're going through the whole process. You living with somebody. You're not single, so it's just it just is what it is, man. And I think that's just a manipulation tactic that people are using, saying that I'm single until I'm married, or they're tired of waiting, or they want to be an honest woman made out of, but they're really a trash woman or something like that. You know,
I would say kind of related to what Prototype is saying, that the single to married, I think that is a easy exit, like an easy exit button. You know what I mean? So like I'm single until I'm married, so it's like I can fire you at will. That's pretty much what you're saying by single to married. I can at any point I can be like, nah, I'm just saying I don't like it. I don't like what's going on. I'm gone. And then when they ask you, it's like, well, I wasn't married, so I have no obligation to try to work this out, or have no obligation to see this through and try to figure it out, because we wasn't married. That wasn't that's not an obligation that I was under. So I think that the whole single into married thing is just like a easy out, to Prototype's point.
Listen, when we played football, man, we had a rule: if you didn't practice, you didn't play. Basically, that means that if you didn't show up to do the work, then you shouldn't get an opportunity to shine. You see what I'm saying? So when people say that's single until married, basically to translate, that means I don't like you that much, and when somebody else better comes along, that's who I'm going to take. That's exactly what that means. But people like to put a skirt on stuff and dress it up, and call it, I'm single until I'm married. No, you're legally single until you married. You see what I'm saying? So if somebody's pouring in the effort, into the relationship, and that only one person is doing that, then basically, that relationship is being robbed of the effort that could happen if both people poured into the relationship. But if you have one person that's saying, hey, I'm single until I'm married, that's the person who ain't pouring nothing into the relationship, so they don't have anything vested. So why should they get married?
She embezzling. They embezzling.
Basically, yeah. They stealing. You know what I'm saying?
I believe in the phrase single until married, but only if both people are on the same page with it. If you both are, being single until you actually get married, like you guys are doing the same thing, and one doesn't have a delusion of, oh, we're together in this type of way, and the other person is saying, no, I'm single, I can do whatever I want to do. I definitely believe in the saying single until married, but both partners have to be living in that and doing the actions behind that, where they're actually single until they decide to just say, hey, we want to be, we're friends, we're not living together, we're not having sex, we're not doing any of those things unless we're married. So both people are on the same page. I believe in it. But if you're playing house and then you want to say you're single, then I think it becomes like a mess. So
What's your thought, Brandy?
I don't agree with that single to married statement. I posted that question like once a year. I post it on my platform just to see the people thoughts process. And people always come back and say, well, legally, if you sign a document, it says, single, married, widow, they go through that whole thing. And so I say, okay, commitment is commitment. I don't care if the documents say single, married, divorced, widow. I don't care what them boxes say. Commitment is commitment. If you say me and you are off the market, whether there's a ring or not, if you say me and you are off the market, we're building towards something, we moving together, we're having sex, we're not seeing anybody else, we're not dating anybody else, then commitment is commitment. You aren't single in that aspect until you're married. And so you should move accordingly. Because I also feel like, and I'm just going by my comments on my post. So I posed the question to the women who were saying that, and I said, okay. I said, so if the man that you're interested in, the man that you're talking to, if you find out he's sleeping with somebody else, would you be mad? And they said, yes. I said, why? You said you're single until married. So why would you be mad at that? And they're like, well, but I said, so commitment is commitment, right? You can't have him. You can't say he's supposed to be committed, and then you don't be committed when you're mad about something and you want to throw up single into married title. Like, commitment is commitment. Either you're committed or you're not. You guys aren't anything.
Anybody else have something on this?
Yeah, you rarely hear men say that. It is rare, because generally those are the ones who are putting the effort in and spending the money. You know what I mean? Usually when women say stuff like that, I'm single until I'm married, in the back of that man's mind, he thinking,
Thief! Stop, thief! Come back, thief!
you see what I'm saying? Where you going with my stuff? You know what I mean? You wasted my time and my money and my effort. You see what I'm saying? Most of the time, it's women that say stuff like that. So Brandy is correct.
I gotta kind of disagree. I know.
Come on, Prototype.
I know plenty. But I know plenty of men that said I'm single to kind of justify big dog ways. You know what I'm saying? Like, but those dudes they're not good dudes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're typically just
We know who
dudes
those guys are.
Yeah, I mean, they're just typically like dudes that they're probably living off the woman, or there's something wrong with the situation where they're not committing, and they'll be like, oh well, I'm really single. You know what I'm saying? I ain't married yet, and I confronted a dude like that who I was in Texas, and I'm in a conversation with this dude, and we're at this conference, and he's like, he had a girl there with him that was like pregnant and everything. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like bigging him up, like, oh, your woman's here with you, big support, blah, 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 this and that and that and this, right? I already thought he was married just off of the, the visuals. And he's like, oh, no, we ain't married yet. I mean, she might be the one. I'm like, wait, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's corny. Like, she's at your event supporting you. She got a baby in her. And you're sitting here like, oh, that's not the one, or I'm like playing with the situation. I'm like, you weird for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's weirdness. Like, so I know there's some dudes that use that to whatever they got going on, or maybe they feel like they can still say they're trying to be a part of the guys. I don't know why he was saying this. I'm nobody to impress. You know what I'm saying? But he's not the only guy I've heard make this statement while in a relationship. You know what I mean? But they don't like it, so they'll be like, oh, I'm single. I'm not married. I ain't marry her. Like, dude, like, y'all are living together.
So then my question is, were they actually in a relationship, or were they like roommates? Because I've seen a lot of roommate situations where they doing everything, like they together, but they really ain't together, which is why people make that weak excuse.
I don't believe in that either. Because when it really hits the fan, man, people's emotions are involved. You know what I'm saying? You at home living with somebody, you might be planning and saying y'all roommates or whatever, but you know what I'm saying? If I can't pull up and chill, and you know what I'm saying? If I can't come over and hang out, and you know what I mean? I probably could. Like, if it was me, you probably come over and chill. Because if I'm not with her, I ain't with her. Like, But at the same time,
come over there.
Huh?
And I would not come over there. You got a whole woman in the house? Not coming.
Well, I mean, but I'll make everybody feel comfortable. You know what I mean? We have a good time.
Bring out iced tea.
Look, yeah.
It's a little tea.
Everybody be straight. You know what I'm saying? But real talk though.
Some women it would. Some women it would.
Oh yeah, for sure. Some women would. You know,
that shit would never happen.
I do have a question though. On single or until married. Like, so for my world, I try to see the world through the lens of the Bible. So I'm struggling with this one. And for you gentlemen or ladies that are well versed in the Bible, when does the Bible say anything about dating?
It's not in there.
You see me?
It's not in there. I already checked.
So that's what I was thinking too. So to leave and to cleave, oh boy. So yeah. There will always be a rich and always be a poor. Nothing about the middle class.
I feel like that's the disconnect, though.
That I was going to speak to that too. That the one thing about the Bible that a lot of people miss on, because we live in such weird times, or no, because we live in times where a lot of stuff goes on, right? That's not biblical or biblical, and the Bible doesn't have any instruction on how to be in certain situations. So it's I mean, I get it. You know, it's either, you know, he don't like lukewarm. It's you're hot or you're cold, right? But I know a lot of pastors just preach getting back to the black or the white. You know what I'm saying? Getting on the side so then you can make a decision. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't talk about necessarily how to be in the warm. If you understand what I'm saying.
So I guess that's what I'm trying to see then as for reconciling the transition. So yes, we're not in biblical times, but how do we reconcile where our society is going whenever it comes to relationship, especially when the most important relationship between men and women? So whenever we look at the institution of marriage and how it's degraded and how our society has degraded because of the degradation, like how do we reconcile that then? Because we then like I guess even in this conversation we're talking about as for the qualms with dating and how men and women will both play the field for their own self-interest and for their own self-gain. Like, so how do we then reconcile that?
You got to have some kind of standard, man. You know what I mean? And it must be rooted in something that's solid. It can't be rooted in something that's wishy-washy. You know what I mean? You can't say, hey, I'm going to provide today, but not tomorrow. I'm going to protect today and not tomorrow. I'm going to love today and not tomorrow. You see what I'm saying? We got to have some type of standard, man. And you can't allow certain people who haven't been, you know, introduced to that, or if they're not willing to learn, you're really wasting each other's time. Because think about it. We spend a lot of time on the front end of relationships when there's a whole nother life on the back end that requires your attention. You know what I mean? Like kids, it takes an entire lifetime to raise a child. Your child does not stop being your child because they become 18. There are some things you're going to have to continue to teach your child as they grow up along the way until it's time for them to teach their child. You see what I'm saying? There's a whole other combination of things that you have to do with your spouse, that you have to learn each other and become one until the point your thought becomes her thoughts. You see what I'm saying? That type of thing. So what happens is we get well versed in dating, but we're not well versed in the back half or the later half of life when it comes down to, you know, hey, I got to take my wife to the doctor. You know what I mean? That type of stuff. You know what I mean? Nursing each other back to health, learning each other to the point where you can heal each other. You see what I'm saying? That type of thing. In essence, what you're doing is you're robbing yourself of your experience when you're wasting your time on the front end, when the importance of the relationship is actually on the back end. But nobody can get past the front end because the front end seems like it's more fun. You can go out and you can hang out, you can see who you want to see and all this other stuff. But in reality, the magic, Humble Dad, if I'm not mistaken, the magic is on the back end of the other side of marriage. And I think we have a lot of people who don't share the magic in that end because they're actually enjoying themselves. They're refreshing themselves. They don't have time to get on the internet and tell us, hey, y'all, it's great on the other side. You know, because if they're honest, they'll know that there are good times and there are bad times. You see what I'm saying? And for you to actually ask somebody, you know, what's marriage like? Today it's bad. You know what I mean? And tomorrow it could be fantastic. It just depends on when you ask that person, you know, what's going on. But if you have to get somebody who's been in it for a while, you know what I'm saying? Somebody who has some vision who've looked over their whole entire marriage and said, you know what? The good days outweigh the bad. And that's somebody I can listen to because they have a set of data points that they can pull from. And to me, that's enough. You know what I mean? I don't put a whole lot of stock on the front end because I got a lot of stop gaps in the beginning that cuts out a whole lot of foolishness. That's why I particularly don't date. You know what I mean? I spend my money on me. You know what I mean? And anybody that's real close to me, those are the people I because that's who is here for me now. You see what I'm saying? But when I become married, then I have to transition over and say, okay, now I'm responsible for this. For this is what I'll do going forward. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times we don't like to look at the back end, the work end of the relationship, and we just focus on the fun.
Yeah. And I that's why, and I appreciate that, and that's why for me, I'm trying to reconcile the difference, because as for what marriage looks like and what we see it to look like has changed even within our generation from the last generation. Whenever things start to get shifty and rocky, right? The first thing, dip out, and that's what y'all the same thing what y'all were talking about as for with dating, right? It's dip out. And it's the commitment. So we'll commit, and that, I guess that's the difference for me within being single and being married. It's not as easy to dip out whenever you're married as whenever you're single, because you do get to play the field. And the moment it's hey, cut, it's like it's a contractor, okay, rather than a permanent hire where it goes through a lot more process to get fired. That employee, that's an actual employee rather than a contractor. A contractor, you call up the contracting company, be like, hey, he ain't working out, he got to go, and he's out of there. Versus an employee, they got to go through all these steps. They got to go through HR. They got to go through all these things before you can actually fire that employee. So that's how I'm seeing it. And it's real. We're really shifting, and with commitment, I'll just put it like this: student loan forgiveness. You commit to something, guess what? They'll bail you out. Whatever it is, they'll bail you out. You ain't got to, you mess up, they'll bail you out. That's our society.
Anybody else on it?
You know what,
Yeah,
Dwayne, I just thought about something you said. Here's the thing about the bailout. The bailout doesn't teach you how to, to get yourself out of a situation. You know what I mean? It doesn't empower you. You know what I mean? It's nothing like Prototype says, when you go to the gym, you work out, and then you see the results of your workout. There are no shortcuts in the gym. You know what I mean? I don't care what nobody say. You know what I mean? You can't eat bad and still go to the gym. You can't go to the gym once a month. You know what I mean? It's a commitment. You know what I mean? And it's the same way with relationships as well, too. There are no days off. You see what I'm saying? You have to show up every single day. Every day's not always going to look the same. But at the same time, if somebody bails you out of a situation, it's going to make you weak. You see what I'm saying? It's like going to get, lipo and sucking it all out, but you're still eating pizza and cheeseburgers and strawberry shakes. You see what I'm saying? It's going to come back. But if you learn how to change your diet, and if you learn how to be consistent with your exercise, then the results will show up. So if you fall off the track, you are still armed with the knowledge of knowing how to get back to where you had already been. And I think that's the problem with a lot of marriages today, is because they're bailouts. You know what I mean? And if we didn't have as many bailouts, people would be forced to say, hey, let me look inside and see what's wrong with me, instead of pointing the finger across the table and say, it's your problem that you need to fix it.
Yeah, for sure. That back in the I want to say early 40s, I was reading about this, that there was no bailouts for marriage. I think it was the 40s, 50s, or something like that. It's a book I'm reading called White Marriages for White People, or something like that. And matter of fact, the scenario that was in the book was this lady, the man was, I think, cheating on her or something like that. And she ended up like hitting him or something like that, trying to kill him. And they was like, we want a divorce. And they was like, no, because both of y'all y'all both were, did something where you could have prevented it. Right. So the courts did not award them divorce. Now where we are, if one person wants a divorce, then it's okay. And we can go our separate ways. right? Because this brings me to the point of why I say that why we shouldn't date. And I was transitioning to that based on the and I'm listening to the things that y'all are saying. They don't even sound like it makes sense to do. You know what I'm saying? Because here you have, you don't necessarily know the intentions of a person because, and you're also wasting your time, right? You're wasting your time and your resources if you're a man, not trying to be intentional about dating and going into marriage, right? So because if you want the cookie, then you're gonna have to pay for it, right? And so why would you? Most times you do prototype. Every dude is not you prototype. Okay. All right. So what I'm saying is that most dudes have to pay to play. Right. So if you're going to pay to play, why not make the most of your resources and change your mindset and perspective into being married? Because married men do better than single men. And it's just data that's on that. Right. Also, from a woman's perspective, why would you want to entertain so many dudes? Like, you're going to like I think Brandy was saying, you're already emotionally immature. That's what in most cases, because you've given yourself to a man, and vice versa for the dude. But you've given yourself to a man, and then you're dating a pool of dudes because y'all already said that women have more access to men than men do to women. And so now you're in a kerfluffle, if I would say, and you're trying to figure out which guy should it be? Who am I going to go on this date with? Instead of having the mindset to say, I need to be married. That's what y'all said. Y'all said that's a societal default. However, not in the Black community. Currently, the Black community is steering away from being married because they feel like it's a disadvantage in being married. And so they go on dates and they prolong this cycle, right? So my stance and why I have this show is to promote marriage. And I see the advantages for myself. And like Lost in Translation has said, there's going to be challenges with any relationship. You know what I'm saying? But marriage, friendship, work, and all those in between. But it's about in marriage, it's about building something. And one of the hardest things to build is a foundation, right? But once you get that foundation together, you can build anything on that foundation. And that's where we are now in society. People don't want to do the work. Looking on the back end, if you can look to the back end and say, listen, the way that I put this together now, then later in the end, it's gonna be to our benefit, especially for the children. Go ahead, Brandon. You had something to say?
Yeah, I like, and this is why I like stuff like this. Like I said, I can't remember how I found you, but this is why I like this, because I think it was Dwayne that said it, or Lost in Translation. But a lot of the people that are actually married and happy, they're not posting, they're not giving off, too much information. And I feel like that's where a lot of us are losing it, because we see the bad. We see the marriages where they're cheating on each other. We see the marriages where they're getting divorced. I was married 6 years. I'm divorced now. So we're seeing the toxicity in dating and, breakups and makeups and all that. We're seeing that, but we're not seeing the good of what marriage is, the pros of marriage. And this is why I like these platforms. You hear, it's different views on them, but it still is, I feel like it's building a foundation. Whether we're all agreeing or disagreeing, it's still building a proper foundation, even on communication. Like we're not all agreeing with each other, but it's not getting disrespectful. Like those are things that you need in your relationship or your marriage as far as a foundation. And me personally, this is why I kind of had the backlash with the advantage of single women. I don't like wasted time. I don't like wasted energy. I don't like, sleeping around just getting. I feel like that's what dating is. We're just in it to get, and we're not really there to serve, to be better for the other person. How can I make you better? We're just in it. What can I get? Oh, I got a meal. Oh, the sex was good. Okay. For the men, I got these many women, like, oh, they bought me a purse, or they took me on a trip. It's like we're all about getting, and it's not really building a good, mature foundation for something that's gonna be solid. And so I despise the dating scene altogether. But these conversations are needed because we do need the help.
I think any woman that's like that they lying. If they just want a meal, they lying. If they at that point, they done given up. They done given up. Something happened, and they in the mind frame when they like, okay, at least this is what I can get. You know, something done happened. And something terribly wrong done happened. Because I don't believe no woman is happy without being in love with someone or having somebody a life to share with someone. I think that's the goal of all women that I met. And any woman that has told me different, they're moving in a way that's just toxic. They're talking in a way that's toxic. Something done happened and they don't believe it. They just psych their mind to believe it. And once you talk to them, have conversations with them, you'll understand where that's coming from.
The devil himself. It was Sir Hill that said it. Love to be lied to. And it started from Genesis. And I'm sorry to say it. But yes, I have to agree. There are so many things that society has convinced women to do that are so self-destructive. And Penny, to your point, once they get to that particular point, and I think they get to that juncture and they give up and they say, F it, and they completely give up they give up the whole bag. They give up everything, and you could see it. And I know this is a touchy topic, but whenever it comes to abortion, whenever you have women out there protesting for something so grotesque as an abortion, where God gave their body a miracle to be able to create life, and they're sitting there promoting the destruction of that, man, I say that's a wrap for me. So as for women being able to just, or for society to convince women to do things that are so self-destructive, that's where I go against it. And for weak men to stand down and not say anything about it. So because they take advantage of it. That's how I put it.
You gotta let them be the. You know what I'm saying? I was about to say something that I want to say, but I
come on, Prototype. You know you don't hold back now.
I mean, but I don't get inappropriate though. Like, you know what I'm saying? So,
do it your way, man. Do it your way.
But men don't. We kind of we let y'all destroy yourselves. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't want to be in the way of. We want y'all to let y'all choose. We want y'all to have your own autonomy. You know what I'm saying? So let the hoes be the hoes. You know what I'm saying? Like.
It's this saying I heard, and the more I talk to different women, the more I see a lot of things. I'm finding it's more true. It's a saying that says you don't even have to lie to a woman. If she like you enough, she'll lie to herself. And this kind of goes back to and bring the point back around. This is what I was talking about when I'm talking about the emotional immature woman. I feel like the woman that is too much into her emotions, we don't stand back and see our worth. We don't stand in and we don't make a man vet us. We don't, hold our purity, so to speak. It's like we go with whatever we can get because we're looking for something. Penny, I like that you said that, like a woman that says she's not looking for a relationship or anything. She's lying to herself, whether she's hurt or whatever's going on, she's lying to herself because we all do. Like our natural nature, we're built to love. We're built to be loved. But again, it's the society, it's the music. Just look at what's going on. It's like it's so much drama, it's so much negativity, men and women against each other. It's a war out here, a gender war.
You defense. You look at yourself and you try to think about how can I overcome this? How can I overcome this? What can make me feel better about this situation? What can I do that I actually can obtain? Can I obtain at least getting flew out? Can I obtain at least having a new experience with someone every day? Like, what can I actually obtain from this experience? And whatever they can obtain, that's what they'll take at the time.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say
go ahead, Brandon.
I was gonna kind of top it off by saying at least from a mental health perspective, a lot of times when we are either convinced that we don't deserve it or we feel like we can't get it, we try to like overcome it by convincing ourselves that we don't even want it. You know what I mean? It's the equivalent of like a dude hollering at a chick and a chick curve him and then he's like, well, you ugly anyway. Just like, what I'm saying, that this is him just trying to get his ego back. But if you don't think you deserve it or you don't think it's something that you will be able to attain, it's easier on, you know, the mind, I guess, is to try to tell yourself that you never really wanted it in the first place.
Man, this has been dope. Hey, Dwayne, did you want to say something
No, I just wanted to, I'll be quick. I stumbled across something today, and this was what Brandon was talking about. So I'm not a fan of this new chick, Sexy Red, right? Did
you say you are a fan?
And you laughing about it? That's funny. Okay, no, okay, okay, no. So I'm not a fan, but to the obtaining, right? So I saw something about Drake got her a diamond watch, and they're not in a relationship. But I'm like, why would? As for what is that promoting? Like, you have one of the top culture stars, Drake, giving money to this new chick, or giving a watch to this new chick, and what is she promoting? So I'm like, he's now setting a standard for these young kids, right, or these young women, that all you have to do is be trashy, and guess what? You will be rewarded. You will be rewarded. And it's like, man, where is our society going from that standpoint? Like, man.
That's what's interesting to me on as it relates to Drake, and why people can't see that he's an actor. Because what he does is he rides the coattail of the up and coming person. And that's how he stays relevant. And people, for whatever reason, you know, they're masked by the desire to hear really cool music. You know what I'm saying? Which we can always talk about at a different time. But this has been dope, man. As always, you know, I never know how it's going to go. But when I put together a dope cast, I know that it's going to be a phenomenal show. And I really appreciate y'all time, your energy and your effort and your take as well. If you could, in like 30 to 45 seconds, tell us what your takeaway is and where can we find you. We're going to start with Prototype.
My takeaway from today's show is dating is pointless. Women be finessing, and men gonna let the hoes be the hoes. That's my takeaway. But you can find me at Prototype Dad Podcast, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube. We go live every Tuesday. We just put together a Wednesday night show for a Prototype Moms show, so all female cast, you know what I'm saying, and we'll be talking about some of the stuff that we talk about just from a female panel, and you know, some of the stuff that moms go through. So yeah, that's kind of how we moving, man. Come check us out, you know, like, subscribe, and you know what I mean. Yeah.
So on you, Lost in Translation.
Thank you. Here's my thing. I ain't gonna take a whole lot of time. My thing is this: figure out exactly what your insecurities are and guard it and fix it. You know what I mean? Proverbs 4:23 says, above all else, guard your heart, because out of the heart springs the rest of your life. So basically, whatever it is that you allow into your space is what's going to come out of you. You see what I'm saying? So with that being said, make sure that you guys feed your soul with good things and good people and good experiences, so that it comes out and you can give somebody else something. So that's my whole thing. When you date, make sure you're dating with somebody who has the ability to receive love just as much as they have to give it. You guys can find me here on Monday nights on Humble Dad, on Sundays on my channel and Sir Hale's channel, Sir Hale Speaks Super Sunday. You can also find me on Tuesday nights at Black Man Unfiltered, and also on Friday nights at the Barbershop. Thank you so much to Humble Dad for having me. Y'all guys have a great day.
For sure. Brandon, on you.
What my takeaway from this is, regardless of if you believe in dating or not, as men and women, it behooves us to really stand on our standards, to not allow anyone else to trick us out, push us off our square of what we want and what we need in a relationship, and most of all, definitely don't trick yourself out of it by creating a lie to believe in when you really shouldn't. That's what I take away from it. As for where you can find me, you can find me here on Mondays here on Humble Dad Podcast. On Mondays, I also drop a audio podcast with my girl, relationship podcast called The Buffet Podcast with Brandon and Ciandra. And then on Wednesday, we dropped a video component on YouTube. Same thing, The Buffet Podcast. You can follow us on IG at The Buffet Pod, Twitter, all that good stuff.
Appreciate it. On you, Penny.
What I've learned is to focus on the back end, like Lost in Translation said. Never really thought about that, but yeah, focusing on the back end, really seeing what that's like, having conversations about that and ways to maneuver in those scenarios. You can find me here. I'm gonna try and commit to at least once a month. Like I'm gonna try and commit to that, like for sure. I'm gonna try. Okay, I'm gonna try to do more, but I'm gonna commit to at least one. Okay, so you can find me on here, and I'm gonna try and show up more.
That's what's up. Hey, on you, Dwayne.
Man, lesson learned from tonight is that there are some men out there that are willing to spend money with no in the dating game with no strings attached. It's tough.
You gotta have it now. You gotta have it now.
First time I heard that.
Be entertaining, be fun. Have something. It's practice too.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. Courtesy
too. Build your personality.
Dwayne, it's a sliding scale. Trust me.
I know. The preponderance says you're gonna lose. No, but I enjoy this platform, just like what you said earlier. This is well needed, especially for where our culture and our society is today. So you can find me here Monday nights, whenever my stuff is working. You can find me on Monday nights. Humble Dad. Appreciate you, bro.
Absolutely. On you, Brandy. Thank you so much for showing up. Hopefully we ain't scare you off.
I like these horror conversations. But what I learned from this, and I learned a lot. Like I said, I watch you as often as I try to, as I can. The foundation matters. We got to work on our foundation. And when I say foundation, I'm a tackle what Brandon said, the mental health. A lot of us are out here bleeding on other people, and we need to really work on us. What do we want? What is our worth? What is our goals? What do we want for our future? Work on the foundation. Once you work on that foundation, everything else should kind of mend itself and follow. Brandy Yates, you can follow me on all the platforms, Brandy Yates. My business name is Conquering Relationships, where we talk about hard conversations, trying to mend intimate and platonic relationships.
That's what's up. It's been dope, been real. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, we out here. Deuces.
The boy is dangerous.
You don't seem to understand something.
The thing that I like most about being a dad is that I see them about to impact the world.